All right, I wanted to show how to align your headlight properly because the headlamp can spin in there, and then this lock ring locks into the light, but there is a proper orientation for this light, which is vertical, and it's not going to align perfectly with the housing. So what you got to do is get yourself a piece of tape, slide your lock ring on there. Actually, you don't even need the lock ring, you just need the light to be there. And then once you have that vertical, get my piece of tape here. Take your piece of tape. It doesn't really matter where you put it, just as long as the tape is aligned. So now you can pull this out, and then if you need to, if it moves or something, you can always just use the tape as an alignment mechanism. Here I'm spinning it around to find the right position. You can see now it's perfectly locked in. Now for the pressure ring, you'll notice that two of the tabs are closer to each other than any of the others, and those two are going to align to just one spot. You'll know you have the correct alignment. This doesn't lock in, it just holds pressure against the lock ring. Now with the rear mount, you can see that there's kind of a U shape here that's pointing upward. That is the correct orientation. Is when it's in the proper position, that U shape, as you can see, you should follow the curvature of the light. You're going to use a 45 millimeter machine screw on one side, and then the other side, I believe it's a 30 millimeter. So you'll find in your bag of parts, you'll have two of these long 45 millimeter screws, one per each light. You should have 12 of the 40 millimeters, which go into the other positions. You should have four of the 30 shorter 30 millimeters, which one goes on that rear mount and one goes right here. And you'll see where it's closer together, where you should use the shorter screws. Now, if you have the old version of the light that has heat inserts in all of the positions, some of you guys will have that. Some of you guys will have the newer version that doesn't have heat inserts. You've got to have these perfectly aligned. If they are not perfectly aligned, you'll feel it. And if they bind up, it'll actually tear the heat insert out of the where it's mounted. So you might have to push and pull and kind of get it to get perfect alignment, which is one of the reasons we did away with the heat inserts, because it's too easy to damage it. And honestly, on the prototype, I ran that for 6 months. It didn't have heat inserts in any position, and I never had a problem with loosening and whatnot. And this material is pretty robust. So get all your 40 millimeters in there. Tighten these down. Don't over tighten it. It actually doesn't take a lot. And if you want to use Loctite or something like that, that certainly couldn't hurt. I'd use a mild one. But get everything tightened down and clamped, and then we'll go to installation. So you'll notice one screw per side is really short, and that's going to be your front mount. It does need to have that TPU rubber washer. It's really thick on there, and that's going to just help it hold against the hole when you mount it in the car. Now, mounting in the car is pretty self-explanatory. There's two bolts on the rear mount, which are already mounted on the rear mount when you get it in the mail. You'll just loosen those bolts with the lock washers, reinstall them on the front. You're going to install that short screw with the rubber washer. Here is where I discovered I had printed the incorrect length rear mount from the first version. So nobody should have received these now. I think there was only two people, and I sent them replacement short mounts. So you shouldn't need to bend this flange out like I'm doing here. It should just line up. And then just insert your screws, those two bolts in the rear with the lock washers, the front one with the white rubber TPU washer, and tighten it down, and these things are mounted. And then all you got left to do is wire it up.